Hello, thank you for joining me in my studies today. I read a book a week and externalize my studies to the best of my ability by sharing vocal readings of the passages most prominent to me. This week I am reading from Sri Ramana Maharshi's Be As You Are. Page 104. Language is only a medium for communicating one's thoughts to another. It is called in only after thoughts arise. Other thoughts arise after the I thought rises, and so the I thought is the root of all conversation. When one remains without thinking, one understands another by means of the universal language of silence. Silence is ever speaking. It is a perennial flow of language, which is interrupted by speaking. These words I am speaking obstruct that mute language. Guru is not the physical form, so the contact will remain even after the physical form of the guru vanishes. One can go to another guru after one's guru passes away, but all gurus are one, and none of them is the form you see. Page 105. Silence is never-ending speech. Vocal speech obstructs the other speech of silence. In silence, one is in intimate contact with the surroundings. On page 110, we're moving into chapter 10, meditation and concentration. The goal is the same for the one who meditates on an object and the one who practices self-inquiry. One attains stillness through meditation, the other through knowledge. One strives to attain something, the other seeks the one who strives to attain. The former takes a longer time, but in the end attains the self. Page 112. Meditation is possible only if the ego is kept up. There's the ego and the object meditated upon. The method is therefore indirect because the self is only one. Seeking the ego, that is its source, the ego disappears. What is left over is the self. Page 114. Pleasure or pain are aspects of the mind only. Our essential nature is happiness, but we have forgotten the self and imagine that the body or the mind is the self. It is that wrong identity that gives rise to misery. What is to be done? This mental tendency is very ancient and has continued for innumerable past births. Hence, it has grown strong. That must go before the essential nature, happiness, asserts itself. Page 118. I is the infinite ocean. The ego, the I thought, remains only a bubble on it and is called jiva, or individual soul. The bubble too is water, for when it bursts it only mixes in the ocean. When it remains a bubble, it is still part of the ocean. Ignorant of this simple truth, innumerable methods under different denominations, such as yoga, bhakti, karma, each again with many modifications, are being taught with great skill and in intricate detail, only to entice the seekers and confuse their minds. So also are the religions and sects and dogmas. What are they all for? Only for knowing the self. They are aids and practices required for knowing the self. On page 119, we move into chapter 11, mantras and japa, or repetition of the name God. Page 122, bhakti, devotion, vichara, self-inquiry, and japa, repetition of the name of God, are only different forms of our efforts to keep out the unreality. The unreality is an obsession at present, but our true nature is reality. We are wrongly persisting in unreality, that is, attachment to thoughts and worldly activities. Cessation of these will reveal the truth. Our attempts are directed towards keeping them out, and this is done by thinking of the reality only. Although it is our true nature, it looks as if we are thinking of it while doing these practices. What we do really amounts to the removal of obstacles for the revelation of our true being.